So I got one of those phone calls, like, I'm like, what does that person want? And I had to take the phone call. So I did. I was well into my video for today. What a beautiful day it was. A little overcast now, but it was the type of day where I could have trained 5 or 6 more horses. It was just warm. The track wasn't getting really muddy at all. It was just a very, very nice day, and we had a good day of training. I think it's probably important we go over yesterday's races, and then I'll look at today. One little piece. Yo Mister will be scratched today. He's got a splint left front that just popped out. It's common for a horse, especially trotters. It's not that shocking. So your options are, you can ice it, you can put him on the hose, maybe sweat it at the track, but you'll see a little head nod when you come on the track, and then he'll probably be fine in the mile. The problem with that is he's coming into a series, and we don't really have a lot of time in between those legs, so maybe there's a little more discomfort than we thought. We don't really have a way to fix that other than cryoing it, shocking it. Cryoing it is probably the best way to go, and if we're going to cryo it, now is the time to do it. Today. Not, if he races, the vet's going to say cool it out for a couple of days. We'll cryo it on Thursday or Friday. That'll only leave you 4 days before he races. So if there's any sort of superficial infection that gets in those cryo dots, now you're looking at jeopardizing his races that are coming up. I looked quick. He was like 6-1 today, and I said, Stacy, obviously, if you're calling me to tell me you're leaning towards wanting to scratch the horse, she goes, well, we could race him, but, I'm just trying to figure out. I said, it's fine. It's not the end of the world. Scratch the horse. We didn't, it's not like it's a Breeders' Crown final and we're desperately trying to cool the splint out. Just cryo it today. And we'll race him through the series. No big deal. So Yo Mister he won't go today. He'll race next week throughout the series. If they cryo it today, it's Tuesday, they could probably get a pretty decent training mile in him Saturday. So if they get it done today, we should be fine. Sassy's racing tonight. She's a Sassy Beach. Megan messaged me, said, don't be mad about the condition climber thing. The other class isn't that bad. I'm just trying to find a good spot for her, and I don't blame her. She likes her. She wants to keep the filly. I mean, here, paths are simple. If you can't find a spot for her, just put her in a 15 or a 12. Put her in where she can win. She'll likely be claimed, but we're not going to try and protect horses. The last thing I want is to go on the track with She's a Sassy Beach at 15 or 20-1. It's just not ideal. But at the same token, listen, we just did the same thing. I just thought we had the World by the Arse sending World for 2 down to Ohio. The class went in 54. This horse will win that class. Or they're going to go in 51 and you're going to get your head beat in. So you just don't really always know until you're in it. So we'll see how Sassy races tonight. And then we'll go from there. I'm not too concerned about tonight. And then took a dive off Dipper. He's in tonight. I think he's probably picked short. We had to scratch him last time he was sick. He's back this week, and he'll probably be good. Last night, what took place yesterday, just an abomination of a race for Sister Solange. I sent out a note to all my partners on the filly and said, look, even when you think you have the right plan, and I lobbied hard to race her at Saratoga. This was her class. This was the place to race her. And even when you have the best laid plans, sometimes it doesn't work out. I really wish that the gentleman driving the horse hadn't come first over with her. Just not ideal. And he doesn't know the background of Sister Solange. Here's a filly. We're trying to get her appetite back. We're trying to get her built back up and looking like a horse. We're trying to get her feeling good. We went through all this painstaking trouble to find the perfect class for this filly. And I saw when he got away third, I'm like, favorites on the front, big first quarter. You're not going to move her. Oh, you are? Okay. Not good. So it's easy to sit here in my car in Ontario and throw darts at somebody racing in Saratoga, but he doesn't know the filly, right? Had he known the filly, and if I had sent him a message, Mr. Dobson would have been, please, for the love of God, just keep her covered up. I don't want to expose this filly. It's her first start of the year. So it's unfortunate it happened, but hopefully she'll bounce back. I'm more concerned about her appetite now. Usually when horses get a little chewed up like that, especially horses that are a little frail, they're not too keen to dive into their feed tub. So I'll talk to Megan later on about that. And obviously, Mark Beckwith called me and said, Anthony, this blue Tesla, the way she raced in the 20 should have jogged today. I just don't understand. I said, she's tie-up filly. I said, before you and I go back and forth about getting rid of her or do this or try that or what do you think of that or, hey, what do you think of this? Let's check her blood. Let's look for the obvious culprit. and that's what we are going to do. I'm just waiting for the blood work to come back. Mark is probably going to give me a call later and say, she tied up a little bit. And God help her, if she didn't tie up, then she won't be long for leaving the stable. I can tell you that right now. We're doing a little spring cleaning. You guys saw that. We did sell HP Maestro yesterday. We got fair money for him, $25,000. We paid 20 for him, made 20 some thousand with him, and sold him for 25. So pretty good deal in that regard. Especially somebody kept asking. They didn't quite understand what I meant by, the issue is we don't have classes. When they win those races, when they win out of those classes, it's very tough. Then you got to look at a straight claimer or racing up and down the condition ranks, and I have zero interest in doing that with most of our horses, and certainly not with HP Maestro. So, and nothing wrong with that. I just don't think he's the type of horse we're going to race him up, down. No. Thanks anyway. So Blue Tesla was a bust. Sister Solange was a bust. Then we went into World for Two, and I'm like, eager to see how he do. He get down there 3 days before. How's he going to race? They went in 51 in front of him. He's just not a 51 pacer yet. I think he'll get there. He won in 51 last year, but that's when he was on the top of his game. Razor sharp. He's just coming off the qualifying list. He followed speed last week. He really wasn't ready for 51 on a 5/8 mile track, and that was pretty clear. So Stacy called and said, well, he does fit the class, but the condition class. I said, find a class he can win. It's pretty simple. The rule of stable is pretty simple. Put them in where they can win. We should be able to win somewhere with the horses, and I pushed for the 50 claimer. That's on me. So fix my mistake. Find him the best class. And then, of course, we had last night Unbeatable Kemp. He was rough a little bit. James, for all jokes aside, James did a hell of a job keeping that horse trotting last night. And for a horse that's always been so sure-footed, I think there's probably a few little things going on. We do a lot of swimming. That can change their muscle type, and it can soar up their stifles a little bit too. So I want to get those stifles looked at. Maybe as simple as just add a little weight to Unbeatable Kemp, and I'm sure he'll be fine. Not that worried about it. I didn't see any obvious acute lameness, as we say, just discomfort a little bit in spots. So we can work with that. Actually, I want to call, I'm going to put this on here right now. Call Preston about this horse right now. I talked to Dominic after he raced, and he's like, I said, we don't have to reinvent the wheel here. The horse is a little bumpy. He is a trotter. Add a little weight. Away we go. We'll decide what to do after that. Does that not seem fair? Yeah, no, that seems good. Sometimes, the horse is so good, but I said, you got to stop. Everybody has to stop looking into the past. Oh, this is how he was last year. Oh, I remember this horse last. I don't care about last year. I don't care about a month ago or 2 months ago. I care about right now. So what do we have right now? How are we going to, what is the issue? Is there an issue? What is it? And how are we going to mitigate it? Simple. But he raced good, just got picked off of the wire, and I think he's obviously sitting on a win in there. And then White Tiger, I said to James, how much room did you need down on the inside? He said, well, usually Louis doesn't let people through, right? He said, usually Louis pretty tight to the rail. So when he drifted off, I just thought it was going to be a recorrection, shut us off, and then we would have, I know what he's saying. The time we could have spent trying to wiggle through, we would have wasted trying to get through, and it ended up being the opposite. There was lots of time to get through. I think he's probably a winner if he gets through cleanly, but as it was, just beat for second, finished third, and the horse raced good. So a good night from Mohawk last night. Got up this morning, the weather was beautiful. Got to the track. We didn't even have to get on it as early as I wanted because it was a great track all day long. Crantini went a slow mile. So we had trained pretty hard last week. Brace for landing. Amy went with Brace. He was good. Crantini was good. Sir Strong, a little bumpy still. As I said to them, this guy's got to come forward. We're working on him, but he's on that list. Listen, you got to do more. You got to show me more. So we'll see how that plays out over the next 2, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Everybody else was good that went today. A bunch of them training tomorrow. I'm not going to be here. I'm heading to Ohio right after I take this meeting here at this little restaurant in Campbellville. Actually, a very good restaurant in Campbellville. So I'll run through the sets really quick. Just a fantastic day. James had asked me to go with his horse, Blarney Castle, so we moved some of the horses around. Easy in the turns was great. Hallie, I was pretty hard on Hallie the other day, and you could tell James said, oh my God, she was on fire today. She won the set, I believe, pretty easy. Don't talk about Bruno and her. We're right together. Danny was behind them with Watch Your Mouth. Mario ended up going with Easy in the turns because I took the kids over to the barn to go early. but they had to go to school. So Amy ran them over to school. Mary went easy in the turn. She was good. Blarney Castle made a break when other horses went by him, but come up trotting, and James and I had a pretty constructive conversation about him after. Just my 2 cents and what I saw from his horse. Strong colt. Got lots of pop. We ended up going a mile and 30 in there, and Blarney was coming again. From the last 3/8 of the mile, he out-trotted everybody easily. Down the lane, he was flying, but everybody was bottled up and did the right thing. They went a mile and 30. Second set, I went with Drebin. He was sharp as a tack today. Another thing I got to check, he was making a little noise pulling up. Must be the spring. But Drebin was very good in the set. I beat Winterbells. I beat Lonely Lakewood. Rito's Lady was right behind us, and Insider Trading just rolled off coming out of the turn. As I said, we came the last half in 110 in that set. So Danny, moved her over, and she just wants to accelerate quickly. We could put the hobbles back on her, but I said to Danny, over that wrap behind, open those flip-flops up on the front feet. So the flip-flops are a shoe with a flat flip-flop. You got to cut a little piece of it out, so there's just the back part. Just gives them a little more traction. And all of our horses had flip-flops on. They're all full flip-flops, so they all have to be cut out for the most part. But a great set, a mile in 2:31 last half in 1:10 exactly. I might have been 1:09 a bit. Third set was great. Everything kind of revolved around punch the clock in that set. We didn't want to go fast. We went slow. Flash Fly, I was trying to get her back on track. I went with her. She was amazing. Punch the clock, I moved over to the lane, and punch the clock shot through, and we trotted hard right through the wire. They looked great. Seasons of Love was there. George of the Jungle, G-Port Beach Boy, everybody was right there, and the set was very good. A much slower set, but by design, because we wanted to get... we want to set everything up for punch the clock. So all the horses that were in there have all been lots. So a little slow mile today didn't hurt them at all. And then we went right back to a little bit of speed. 2:37 I had the last trip in. Ready for landing. Got it done again today. Got it done today. Behaved himself. Now I worked him hard yesterday. He was probably a little tired today. Mick Paisley also got worked very hard yesterday. Probably a little tired today. So both of them were very good though. And they were on their toes. They weren't tired. They were on their toes. Great Bet was right there. James Arthur was very good also. Now time is on my side. We actually went and I don't like injecting horses this time of year, but when it came to him, under x-ray, everything was clean, but a little tight in his knees. So do we blister him and keep going, or do we go a different route? I opted to put some real good medication in there called polyglycan. I don't like doing that all the time, and it's not a big deal. I just thought that with him in particular, getting on the line a little bit here and there, maybe the other route was the best way to go, so we ended up injecting him a little bit also. So a little update for Ohio this week. We had scratched Militant. He touched his knee the other day, and it blew up a little bit. It's not a big deal. And then Mel Gibbswan, they said, was originally... they thought he was originally, and he was a little discomfort in his testicle area. The vet had checked him a couple of times. Now remember, this is a guy that got over on the left shaft for no particular reason. This could have been the reason. The vet called me, said, Anthony, I can get a hold of that testicle today. He said, I can't say that it would be easy otherwise, but today I can do it. I said, okay, just castrate him. He's a nice colt, but he's a swan for all. He's going to Indiana. Just castrate him. So we are castrating Mel Gibbswan for no particular reason other than for safety for him. That testicle, he felt, then he got it out and he said it was twisted. You could see there was some issues in there. So it was good that we actually castrated Mel Gibbswan. He won't be able to train tomorrow because of that. Do we have any other scratches that I'm aware of? Goldbug Hanover was entrapped. We had her fixed. That's no problem again today. And everybody asking for more updates on International Spy. Nothing really found. So it leads me to believe it's probably bruising or something up high in that left hind leg, which is concerning all in its own right. If we're talking about bruising in the soft tissue area, not from hitting, I have to ask myself, if he's been in 230 and this is a problem, how are we ever going to get him raced? And if we turn him out, why would this not happen next year? Also, these are questions I got to talk to the vet a little bit about today. But as of today, nothing found. No broken bone, no nothing, no tears, nothing like that. But discomfort in that up high left hind. So I want to have a more specific conversation with Dr. Bosanjak about that. So with that, I'm going to go off to my meeting. I'm off to Ohio later on. We're all going to watch 2, not 3, as they said, Mr. Scratch today. We're going to watch Dipper and Sassy go. Probably going to be a little lackluster racing tonight. Dipper should win, actually. Sassy's in tough. And pouring rain coming for Thursday. So we had 6 slated to qualify. That may turn into 2. I have no interest in qualifying Swinging Senorita in the pouring rain. High Enterprise, I want to put good lines on her, so she likely won't qualify in the pouring rain. I likely will go with Oh My Gosh in Columbus. I think we just want to get them guys going. So that makes the other 2 horses, I can't think of them off the top of my head. Coupe de Ville, we'll call her a game time decision to see if we're going to go with her also. But all of our 3-year-olds very, very close in Ohio, and lots getting close. I'm probably going to train a couple on the race bike here in Ontario when I get back on Friday and Saturday. So with that, I'm going to let you guys go. I'm going to take my meeting. I'm going to head to Ohio. I hope you had a great day, because I'll tell you what, +7 here. It is a beautiful day here in Ontario. Take care.